The fight for the following edition of AEW Dynamite featured multiple title matches, the in-ring return of Daniel Bryan, a popular AEW star turning on his partner, and a whole lot more. We also had Hook winning his first title, so yeah, a big show of Dynamite this week with lots and lots going on. So let's get straight into it with the AEW World Championship match, Jon Moxley versus Rouge. Dynamite opened with a back and forth between the two men before the match spilled out to ringside. Rouge took control of the match briefly before rolling Moxley back into the ring. The latter then gathered himself and hit a top rope suicide onto the ringside. As the match went on, Moxley had Rouge in a precarious position and headed to the top. Andrade then ran out to help his brother and push Mox off the top rope. Phoenix, Penta and Alex Abrahantes came out to chase Andrade away before Mox almost got the win with a roll up, but hit a straight jacket pile driver. Rouge then went to follow up with a running dropkick, but Moxley sidestepped him and hit a paradigm shift. Mox then locked in the bulldog choke for the W. Jericho and the Jericho Appreciation Society were up next. Jericho said that the JS were on a roll and challenged Moxley to a title match. Anna Jay spoke briefly as the newest member of the JS. Moxley told Jericho to shut up and told Jericho if he really wanted to leave the people who carried his bags at home and to bring the Lionheart, the last survivor of the Heart Dungeon. And yeah, it looks like we're going to get that match in a few weeks, and I can't wait for that. Yeah, great match, decent match to set it up as well, putting over Rouge a bit in defeat as well. So 7 out of 10, good stuff to kick off the show. Next up was Ricky Starks versus Danhausen for the FTW Championship. Danny Townsend tried to curse Starks but ended up hitting Boot. He ate a pump kick and a backlight suplex. Starks then went for a spear but crashed into the turnbuckle. Starks finally connected with the spear and that was enough to put Danhausen away. Starks took the mic and said he wanted a real challenger, which Hook responded to. Starks cut Hook in half with a spear, but the second generation star locked in the rope run, forcing Starks to tap out, and Hook is the new champ. Ricky Starks was in the ring with Schiavone. Ricky said he made the FTW Championship where he can. Starks said it's his time now, but he had a string of bad timing recently. Powerhouse Hobbs, who was with Starks, blindsided him with a right hand, taking him out. And yeah, I mean, did not see this coming, but yeah, it's an interesting development. Getting babyface Ricky Starks now, I'm not against it too. And Hook, of course, winning his first title. Don't know where it'll go, but yeah, certainly very interesting. And yeah, just out for the intrigue factor. And yeah, on the whole, I thought this was really solid. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Sammy Guevara and Dante Martin was up next. Guevara had Conti with him at ringside as usual, while Dante Martin had Sky Blue with him at ringside. Martin tried to get into Guevara's head early on, avoiding his offense countering. Martin then with a feint early on as Sammy Guevara threatened to walk out of the arena, but Martin took him down from behind and died off the entrance ramp. Back from the break, Martin went for a springboard out to ringside. Sammy saw it coming and connected with a rising knee strike before Martin headed to the apron and went for the nose dive. Sammy stopped him in his tracks and went for a suplex off the ropes. Dante Martin then landed on his feet, but took advantage of the leg. Guevara then took advantage and hit a springboard cutter, which he followed up with a GTH for the win. Guevara went to inflict further punishment on Martin, but Sky Blue got in the way. Joe ran out and she and Tony Conti double teamed Sky Blue before Soho, Ortiz and Eddie Kingston ended up chasing them down to the ring and chasing them away. I mean, yeah, I guess 6 out of 10. The match wasn't too bad, I suppose. But you know, it's just the whole kind of same stuff again week after week. Yeah, kind of a bit tiresome of it now, to be honest. Jungle Boy was out next and he didn't hold back. He called Christian Cage the biggest pussy he'd ever met in his life. He then said Christian was one of the most relevant he had been in his career, but still chased a run last week. Jungle Boy wondered why Christian was so upset he was eliminated from a battle royal a year ago and why missing out on the bonus meant so much for him. Jungle Boy said that this was probably because Christian's wife had divorced him. Christian appeared on the screen and addressed Luchasaurus. He said Luchasaurus could have been a main eventer, but he chose to stay out of Jungle Boy's lapdog. Christian threatened to put Jungle Boy in a body bag before walking off. And yeah, this was good stuff again. I haven't seen inside like Jungle Boy before, but you know, these two in a promo for a few weeks could be really great and looking forward to the eventual match. Brandon was then backstage with the Young Bucks and he informed the Bucks that AEW were having a trios tournament to crown the first trios champions. Finally, so happy this is coming. Young Bucks then saw Paige backstage and wished happy birthday. The three looked to be on the verge of reconciling when the dog holder came by to wish their friend Hangman a happy birthday. And what way is this going to go? I don't know, but it's going to be really, really interesting. And yeah, can't wait to see where that goes. And then we got Tony Nese and Mark Sterling versus Sterling. Neeson started things off. Big backbreaker from Swerve early on, but Sterling distracted him from ringside. Neese with a chop across the throat, but Swerve then hit back with an arm breaker against the top rope. Mark Sterling quickly ran at Swerve and pulled his hair, giving Neese the opening to send him crashing to the floor. Sterling then tagged him briefly and got some shots and tagged out after the break. Swerve booted Nice in his corner, forcing Sterling to accidentally tag in. Swerve then hit Nice for a meteor out to ringside, leaving Sterling at the mercy of Swerve. Swerve then hit Mark Sterling with a rising boot across the head, and that was enough to pick up the W. After the match, we cut backstage where Keith Lee was taken out by Josh Woods. Nice blindsided Strickland in the middle of the ring to get the last laugh. And yeah, I guess it's kind of building towards a tag match. No issues with that. I'll be intrigued to see where it goes with Woods being quite new. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't too bad at all, really. It was telling a story. It did its job, I suppose. It wasn't, like, brilliant. Not really going to remember it, but it's enough. Get 6 out of 10. Next up was Thunder Rosa versus Mayu Yamashita for the Women's Championship. A strong start from the challenger. Yamashita laid in with some assist strikes early on, with the champion hit back with a series of kicks. Yamashita then hit back with a boot to the head, but got rolled out for a 2 count. Yamashita then with a knee to the jaw, followed by a gut wrench suplex. Rosa then took Yamashita down with a Northern Light suplex for another 2 count. Both women traded strikes and kicks, and Yamashita hit back with a German suplex. The Japanese star then went for a spinning boot, couldn't connect with the Integari. Yamashita then hit the skull kick, which was almost enough to finish the champion off. Champion and challenger then traded roll-up before Yamashita rocked Thunder Rosa with a swinging kick. Thunder Rosa dug deep and then hit the Fire Thunder Driver, picking up the W. And yeah, gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Solid enough match for someone we don't know too much about, but still produced a really good match, and obviously right result, 7 out of 10. Next up was Daniel Garcia versus Brian Danielson. Great to see him back in the main event. Danielson didn't waste any time going right after Garcia and hit him with a top rope suicide before sending him crashing shoulder first into the ring post. As Danielson went to re-enter the ring, Garcia tried to take advantage. Danielson was in the mood to fight and hit back with a series of elbow strikes. Garcia desperately got a few uppercuts in to try and take control of the match, following it with a neck breaker. The match then spilled out to ringside where Garcia was throwing Danielson into the barricade before Danielson bounced off the barricade and took Garcia down with a lariat. Danielson then stayed down with a drop kick off the top rope and Garcia took advantage. Garcia then pounced on Danielson, who had rolled out to ringside. Garcia tossed Danielson into the steel steps before hitting him with a DDT on the exposed concrete. Danielson was then bleeding as the match headed back into the ring. Garcia laid into Danielson with a series of stomps and a boot across the head before Garcia continued to dominate until Danielson finally got back on his feet with a series of nasty strikes and kicks. Garcia suddenly locked Danielson in a chokehold though, but Danielson powered back to his feet. He rolled through, breaking up the hood and almost locked in a cattle mutilation. Unable to lock it in, he hit the running knee strike and Danielson attempted a LeBell lock, but Garcia rolled out of the ring. Danielson with a diving knee before he rolled Garcia back into the ring. As Danielson went to enter the ring, someone grabbed his leg. Garcia took advantage and hit a pile driver before locking the modified sharpshooter. Danielson ended up passing out, which got Garcia the win. The person under the ring turned out to be Jake Hager. And yeah, this was just absolutely brilliant stuff. Gets an 8 out of 10 from me. Not only was it great to see Danielson back, but him having an absolute banger of the match was just brilliant. And yeah, I mean, like, Garcia, that's a star-making performance from him, beating Danielson, brilliant stuff, not clean, so, if Danielson isn't too damaged, I don't think he would have been anyway, really, but yeah, put Garcia massively over, brilliant main event, 8 out of 10. Overall, AEW Dynamite this week gets 7 out of 10 from me. Yeah, another really solid episode of Dynamite. Some really great matches in the show. The main event, the first part of the show was really solid. Bit of a dip in the middle, but on the whole, it wasn't anything too bad or anything like that. But yeah, on the whole, a pretty solid episode of Dynamite. So no complaints from me. Solid 7 out of 10. But anyway, guys, that's the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and also comments down below. Follow for daily wrestling news, and subscribe to my channel. Subscribe, and I'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.